Hello. Hi everybody, I hope you don't feel too much hungry after seeing the pictures from the market. So I ask you to be patient a little bit more. Here is the experience I represent, which is called Cantieri, vogliamo. We translated in the year we want, but I prefer the Italian name. So basically it is a movement that was born in 2011 to take care of a particular place in Palermo. The place is a complex of industrial archaeology, which is placed in the Zisa neighborhood, which is a particular neighborhood. It is not very far from the city center, but it's a very problematic neighborhood because there is a concentration of illegal activities in the neighborhood, and there is a loss in social capital. In the 90s, the municipal administration decided to transform this complex in a cultural citadel in order to contribute to the cultural rebirth of the city in a particular period of the city where the mafia blood season took place. So they started to renew some of the buildings. There are about 23 buildings in this area, which is quite a lot. They just renew some of them, and then the other ones were left in a state of decay. The following administration didn't really take care of the complex. They just managed to use some EU fundings to renew 2 buildings, which we can see here. They are quite nice buildings. There is a museum, as you can see in the first image, to host. It was supposed to host cultural arts expositions. And then there is a cinema, which has been realized with very high technologies, but it has been inaugurated 2 times and then closed after that. So both of these very nice buildings are being kept closed for a long time. So in 2011, the administration announced a public call for interest for private companies to take care and to use and renew these spaces. So basically they wanted to adopt a very business-oriented strategy that didn't take in account the civic society full of association organizations, professionals working in the arts field and very interested in taking care of this place. So after this public call, more than 70 associations, artists, researchers, professionals, but also simple citizens attached to the place started to taking care of the place together and to discuss what to do to stop this kind of policy that didn't meet the real needs of the city. So basically, the main reason why we started together was to denounce the state of abandon of the Cantieri, but not only of the Cantieri was just a symbol of many other spaces, many other cultural and historical places in the city that are simply closed and no one is taking care of them, and they could be a very good resource for the city development. So we tried also to experience and propose a different model of managing, more respectful of the city needs and more respectful of the paradigm of common goods. So we try to experiment collaborative methods of gathering and taking decisions, try to avoid the problems other movements faced in the past. So basically, in practical terms, we try to reopen the space of Cantieri to the people, to the city. And in order to do that, we developed some activities. So we organized public assemblies where everyone could join, and often we invited some experiences from the city, but also from other regions in Italy. So, for example, we host the Quinto Stato Network, which is a network placed in Rome to fight for the rights of new workers, or new temporary and occasional workers. They are also committed in finding a new way of collaborating and obtaining the respect of new workers' rights. and also from other realities like Teatro Valle and Macau, which is groups of artists that are fighting to reopen some space, and they have occupied some spaces in their city, like theaters or other buildings. We organize preside activities instead of an occupation, because more of the people inside the movement didn't feel really comfortable with the idea of occupy the space. So we thought that maybe creating a creative preside could be a better solution. So we try to stay in the place as much as we can, trying always to dialogue with the administration. So we always asked for a formal permission to get into the space. So we organized, for example, the neighborhood, the carnival for the neighborhood. So our artists create this nice fish, and we organized a parade starting from the Cantieri, but also going outside the neighborhood. So our aim was to bring back the neighborhood, not only the citizen in general, back to the Cantieri. Then we organized some kind of festival, some activities, including different kind of events for different kind of people. Also activities for children, for example, or meetings with people from the cultural sector, or we included some other movements in Italy fighting for common goods, like the movement for the water right, for the against the privatization of the water as a common good. And here you see the cinema I talked first about. You see, we realized a banner that referred to the famous Magritte quotation, "This is not a cinema," and we cancelled it, we deleted that, not because we thought that that was a cinema and it was a right of the people to claim for the reopening of the cinema. And we also gave a name to the cinema, which hasn't a name, and we call it Vittorio De Seta, as one of the documentary makers, famous Sicilian documentary makers, so in memory of him. Then we try always to have a dialogue with the administration, but more often we didn't have a good reply. They refused to give us the permission to do it. So we entered in the cinema of the Cantieri without a real permission. So many times we organized creative protests. For example, we went in front of the municipal office showing some posters with the activities we didn't realize because of the administration denial. Or for example, we did some guerrilla marketing activities. So we realized some stickers with written "Let's open the Cantieri," and we took it on the eyes of the politicians' posters, like to say, "Come on, people, you have to open your eyes," and the politicians have to open their eyes to very important issues. So here you see some other shots from our activities. Here you say Villa Garibaldi. It's a very nice site in the city of Palermo, which is closed, and we put the stickers with the image of famous Italian actors with written on the top, "Let's open." So this is the on the right. You see the poster always with a character from the movie history, with the same, you cannot see maybe, but there was written also, "Let's open this space," and we did this big poster, this banner with the balloons in front of the municipal office. And then you see from the festival in which we opened the cinema, one famous Italian director that came in Palermo to support us in our cause. So what's today now the movement? The administration has changed, and the new administration is much more open to listen to the movement. So they took our suggestions, and they're trying, in a way or not, to follow them. So, for example, they already opened at the cinema and the museum, but they didn't choose who has to manage these places. They just choose a temporary solution in order to see if it works or if it not works. And yes, or for example, here you see a picture inside the museum where the way the museum now it's open to artists. They are working together, the museum, to elaborate a new way of managing the structure. So part of the artists working in the museum were part of the movement. So in some ways there is a kind of transmission of values, but also of human resources from the movement inside the new, let's say, institutionalized managing of the space. And then the renewal of the Cantieri is the main goal of the administration in cultural policies. So it's a strange phase. We feel like we are going towards institutionalization. We are not sure it's a good thing or not. It's really too early now to evaluate what's going on. But we still keep on gathering and discussing what's going on in the city. So we'll see what is going on. Thank you.